Hello and welcome to the Leckiju Lounge. This is your host Lex, and as Artie from Glee once said, "'Cause I'll be dancing with myself." One thing about me is I just love to sing. I just love to sing. And especially in the mic when I can hear myself on the headphones, like I just love to feel like a singer. As you can see if you're watching the video podcast, we have a light up sign. It's official, you guys. We have a light up sign. Although I wish that it looked like my actual logo, or was pink or blue. This is still pretty cool. My dad found it and said he thought that it was also on clearance. He was like, it's like kind of cursive L. It's like a weird font, and it kind of does look like my logo, low key. So we've got an LED sign. I'm so excited about it. Today I kind of wanted to recap a few things. So, a few episodes back, I talked about getting new microphones, and so I don't know if I actually spilled the tea on that. I think I did. But basically they came and then I tried them out, hated them. The quality was not giving. It was bad, but I got to return them and I got my money back, period. And then I haven't purchased another, but I think actually today that I'm going to place an order for this microphone set. And I'm excited about it. I think it's a little more pricey, but I think it's something that like I want to do. At the end of the day, it could be a tax write-off. You never know. But it would be like a mic set for two, so I would be more comfortable having guests, but also it would be like a better mic for one. So it is possible that my next episode will showcase some new microphones, depending on if they get here. And it's also just exciting. I mean, I love this mic. I think it's super cool, and I would still use it possibly for things, but you never know. What is going on in my life since we spoke? So I spoke about going to a casting last time, and my rundown of how the casting went was basically I get there, I'm nervous, whatever, always. And then I went in and I was expecting it to not be many people because it was a request casting, but that's kind of just like a silly little term. And low key, like a request casting can still have like a ton of people, if that makes sense. Like request casting can still have like 30 people, but it wasn't that many, but I feel like it was 15 or so. And I met some people, some models. They were okay, like they were cool. One girl specifically was chill. And then I went into the actual casting, and so the story was I actually feel like I've met this woman before. That's like a weird story, but it would have been over a year ago, and it would have been like at this other casting, and she would have had to work at another agency, but I feel like she might have. Anyways, I meet her. She's chill, and I was trying to like vibe with her on like a personal level, because you're only in there for a couple minutes by yourself. It's like just you and them in a conference room, and yes, they want to like look at you because it's for modeling, but they also just like ask you questions because they want to see you but not make it like awkward, and they want to see how you move and how you speak and whatnot. And of course, like I tell her my like classic bit. I tell her like, yeah, I'm a dancer, I teach dance, I choreograph, because those are like those are interesting things, and a lot of people like to hear that. And then so then she took some measurements, then she took some photos, and then at the end, this is so funny, she goes like, hey, she was like, is there anything else that you want to tell me, or anything else like I should know about you? And so like there was nothing in my brain. My brain was blank, and I was thinking, my like automatic response that was like ready in my head was to be like, oh no, that's all. But I was like, no, you cannot say that, because you can't just like, this is your opportunity to say something, and I feel like throwing that away is just like lame, and I would have left regretful. But instead, I was like, okay, what's something? Like, I'm racking my brain because I told her already, like, a lot of my hobbies and jobs and whatnot. And then I was like, oh, I also really like social media. Like, I was like, I like posting on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And I told her I even have a podcast. Shout out. And then she was like, okay. She was like, I said, that's very random, but, and she was like, no, it's cool. I'll show the team. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now don't look too closely, Miss Thing. No, for real. But I think that would be really cool. So I don't really care. Obviously, like, I post online with the intention of anyone can see this. So, and yes, I don't think about that every time I post. I'm sure I don't because I'd be posting some questionable things. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But, yeah, it was nice. All that I can ask for is that I left with no regret, and that is how it went. And then, like, I sat in my car and I was like, how do I feel about that? How that went? And I was like, I think it was good. Like, her and I had a good energy, and she was fun. I felt like I was being pretty fun. And then I don't know when I'll hear back from that, so maybe never. Um, Another good news about in the modeling industry for me is that it's possible that I'm going to be doing some fashion events coming up in Atlanta. I'm not sure for sure, but I got past the first round, so now in the finals, I have to maybe attend the finals and then get into the like fashion week stuff and in Atlanta. But yeah, I do have to pass the final round, which is more like selection from designers. But I'm super excited about it, even if it's just like an experience or whatever. I'm still excited for that. And what else has happened this week? So I was teaching and choreographing a lot, obviously. So last night I actually had a very fun time. So last night, my best friend and my brother, who's my other best friend, they decided to come take one of my classes because they're in the company at the studio I teach at, so they can actually like take classes for free because they're already in the company. That's just how that works. And so I was teaching a night class, a jazz class, and obviously the ballet company, they don't get to really have fun with jazz and contemporary and many styles other than ballet. So for the two of them, like they hadn't taken a jazz class in so long, and I teach jazz, so they decided to come, and then some other people joined in too, and it was like such a fun time, which is cool because like you grow up doing jazz and you grow up doing like classes, but then when you get to a professional level, it's like you almost don't get to do as much as the fun stuff in a way. And it's not that I wish I could go back because honestly, like my younger years and time in jazz and contemporary were like I dreaded it and it was a very bad version of it. But there is like that's why it's kind of healing to teach it now, the fun classes, because then I'm getting to like relive it but in a positive way. Like I'm getting to learn to like a jazz class and like a contemporary class because I'm the one teaching it. And I hope that my students can enjoy as well. I wish that they would enjoy more because I'm like, it's really never that serious, guys. Like, just have fun with it. But I know, and that's not how everybody has fun. So I can't really say too much. But yeah, last night it was such a fun time to then dance with my friends. And I taught a combo that was like a lot of fun. And we all did it together, and it's like, well, one, I haven't danced with my brother and my friends, like I don't dance with them anymore or perform with them that much, so that one thing. But then also it was like my combo and it was just like a jazz class together, and it was just super fun. So 10 out of 10 recommend. If you want to come take my jazz class or my contemporary class, shoot me a message and I'll try to get you in because it's a fun time. And I think honestly, I think some of my students take it for granted. But like I said, maybe they don't have fun dancing like that. But because I didn't used to either, so I can't, judge too much. But it's like, I think I'm more fun than the teachers that I had growing up. And I feel like I'm very easygoing. I was talking with my brother because he used to teach as well. And him explaining like how he thinks about teaching and how his like relationship with it, I guess it made me feel like, wait, maybe I'm so much more easygoing than I thought. Like maybe I'm so much easier on the students than I thought. Because yes, I have an expectation for my students, and they know that, and they know that like I I do expect some greatness from them, but I just feel like I'm pretty easygoing because I'm always telling them like just let loose with it, have fun with it. Like you can do what you want here, like free arms, and because I'm really just trying to get them to move. Especially because this is the beginning of the year. Like I'm at the part where I'm just like, just let go first, and then we can hone in on technique because like I need them to just like shake out and shake it off, as Taylor Swift once said. I really do. Actually, that brings me to a funny story, the Taylor Swift thing. I recently asked some of my older classes, I was like, so what are your guys' favorite music artists? And they all went around and I just had them like tell me because I was just really curious. I'm always curious about that. When I meet people, I always ask them their top three artists because that can tell me a lot about you. And so I told them, I asked them all for their favorite. And the amount of them that I did not know was crazy. It was alarming. Like, because if they're current people, I don't know. If they're old people, I don't know. Like, there's only a specific era of people that I know. Like, I want to say it would have been 2010s, like the time of like when Ariana was huge and it was like they were all like recognizable people. Like when it was Ariana and Rihanna and like Nicki and Miley, like that was just I feel like, and Selena, like that was the era of like I felt like I knew everyone in pop culture. And I don't think I'll ever feel that way again because like I most of my knowledge now is K-pop, and like I know groups and I know soloists and I know like members' names and everything about them, but there's still in the realm of my realm of K-pop, there's still so much more that I don't like understand. But I don't know. I just think like a lot of the artists I didn't know, but one of the girls said Taylor Swift. That's what made me think of it. She said Taylor Swift because she couldn't think of one. She was like, I guess Taylor Swift. And then I was like, that suddenly makes so much sense. But a lot of them, yeah, I did not know. I mean, one girl, I think she said Ariana and Beyonce. I was like, okay, I know them. Um, and someone said, like, I don't know, it's just silly. And then they were asking me, and I was like, well, ATEEZ, of course. But, because I do, like, I love ATEEZ so much. And this reminds me, I spoke with a different friend who's more of a K-pop friend. And her and I, were talking about the type of music genre that we like. And I said, like, when it comes back to it, like, my top pick for genre is a dance music, or what I would describe as a dance music. Like, it has a beat, it could be used in a club. And it's funny because I'm not a club goer, I'm not like a party person at all, but party music is kind of my vibe. And I've always been like that. Like ever since I was playing music on my Kindle Fire, I was normally playing like remixes of songs, or because I love a beat drop and I love like a something I can dance to. And I think that also goes with part of like choreographing, but people who are choreographers that I know, they like tend to like music that's almost uncountable, and it's like soft and it's slow, and not that those are bad songs, but to me it's like it's not giving me anything, it's not speaking to me. And I'm definitely more of a beats and bass person, excuse me, rather than a lyrics person, like in music. And there are some songs that I love the lyrics of, but I'm like more focused on sounds and beats rather than words and lyrics, if that makes sense. And I know that like so many people would be the opposite of that, but I'm like, I just need to be able to listen to it. And that's, I think, why I'm able to connect with K-pop on a deep level, is because I don't know what they're saying a lot of the times. Like, some songs that I love, I've never looked up the translation of. Like, and I don't think that I have to. I understand why people do it, because maybe they want to know the meaning and maybe they want to, like, understand more. But for me, I'm like, I vibe with the song. I vibe with the song, and I could listen to it every day. So I don't really need to know what it's saying. You know, that's just how I feel on it. Which actually, because I started talking about K-pop, let me ride this one out because I have a pretty important topic, a recap from this week, which on Thursday, which is when my last episode uploaded, last Thursday, I decided to go to a K-pop event. And it was, okay, so it's at a college, and it's put together by two clubs at the college. It's the dance club. They're like K-pop dance club. And, excuse me. And they have a regular K-pop club. So it's put on by both. And it's basically just like a once a year, I think, party. And so they can promote like their auditions, they can promote their clubs, and basically there's some pizza, there's like water, and play some games and like random dance play. Okay. So this is for like a college, and I'm not a college person. As you may know, I'm not in college. And I don't go to college parties. I don't go to college events really ever. So I decided to go, and I asked two different people. They weren't available. So I said, that's okay. I'll go by myself. And I was kind of prepared to go by myself because I figured that like I would make more friends if I go by myself, because that's just how I am. And so I go, and you know, the place was very nice. I enjoyed walking on the campus of a college because, like I said, I'm inexperienced in that. And actually going through like the little cafeteria area with like restaurants, I was like, wait, this is so cool. Like me being an alien who's never like been into a place like that, I thought this is cool. And so then I get there. Also, I had in the instructions of how to get to the room I was supposed to get to on my phone, and it felt like I was doing a treasure hunt. Like it was really fun. Then I get there and I can like tell, okay, this is it, period. I go in this little like convention. It's like a little room. And then I get in line right away for like the food because I'm like, okay, why not? And I kind of talk to some people. Then there's tables, and I'm like, where am I supposed to sit? Because, well, most of the tables were taken or they had like saved seats. So I'm like, and I don't know anybody. So I'm either going to go up to a table and be like, hey, can I sit with you guys? But I almost did that, but I was just like, I don't know. So I end up kind of sitting in the back with this like smaller table. It's just me and one other guy. And I said, hey, can I sit here? He was like, I think he almost wanted to say no, low-key, but he said yes. And I said, okay, thank you. I sit down and I'm kind of eating, and then two more people came around and they were like kind of looking for seats as well. And they had just met. And then I was like, sure, yeah, I grab some some chairs and bring them over. And they did. And then, we're talking, but it's like it was kind of hard to connect with them low key because the girl who I was talking with, like in my brain I was like, I can probably connect with any K-pop band. Boy was I wrong. Boy was I wrong. I'm so used to going to a concert where you're all there to see the same artist, so you already all have that common interest. But it made me realize how wide K-pop is as a whole, and how I was like, wait, I don't actually like know what I think I know. And so this girl, I'm like, yeah, what are your favorite groups? And she says IVE. And if you're listening to this and you don't know who IVE is, it's a girl group of 5. And basically it's just like not what I would choose, not what I would be into. No hate to them. I like some of their songs, like 3. And she goes, IVE? And I was like, oh, like I was kind of stumped. I was like, oh, I've actually, and I genuinely never heard someone say that IVE was their favorite group also. So I was kind of shocked. And then she was like, what about you? And I was like, ATEEZ, as I'm wearing like an ATEEZ shirt. And then she was like, oh, I have a friend who really likes them. And I was like, okay. And it was just weird because Well, then it was like, okay, we're here for K-pop, low-key, we can't talk. The thing that I started talking about, I saw on her phone she had been playing a Teen Beach Movie track, and I was like, oh, I love that, Lovin' Queen. Like, I was, making conversation, and she was like, oh yeah, we talked about musicals for a bit, right? And so I'm like, yeah, people hate on musicals, I don't know why, like, I love them. And then I said, what started it for me was High School Musical, and she was like, oh, I've never seen that. I was like, oh, okay, so now we're stumped again. Okay. Like now I don't know what to talk about. Um, but meeting other people, okay, so once games started, they did 3 games. The first game was like a telephone with dancing, like a dance telephone. So basically like someone in the front, like they tell the first person the song, they both tell them the song, and then they have to turn around, tap the person, show them a dance, turn around, tap, and it just goes down the line, and then the last person has to say what the dance or the song is. And so I low-key wanted to play because they chose 8 people from both sides of the room, and I had my hand raised like I wanted to get picked, but they were a lot, so I didn't get picked. And thank God I didn't, because whenever I got there, or when I was like watching them play, then they're like, I think I would have known like 2. They did a bunch of them. I said, I probably would have known 2 of these dances, which if you're in the middle, you would just copy what they do and you're fine. But they were rotating every round. So someone always had to be like the last person to guess. Someone always had to be the first person to know the song and do an iconic dance move from it. I was like, I would have failed, especially if I was on my own, because I was like, I feel like I'm so many people's K-pop friend in their life, and I feel like I'm a lot of people's, like, they think that I know a lot about K-pop, and while that is true, there is so much that I don't know. My knowledge is more based on like ATEEZ and maybe some other groups that I take interest in, but in the industry as a whole, I feel like like I'm not even in it when I'm with people like that who know it. And then the second game was, oh, it was like a this or that. So everybody kind of played and they went in the center of the room, and then they would show on their projection big screen like 2 sides, and you would pick your side that you like wanted to vote for, and then you would have to they would choose some people and you would debate like your point and why you're on that side. So it'd be like, which one of these is the song of the summer, Soda Pop or Gnarly? And so like you'd go on your sides, and then some people would debate about like why they thought they were correct, and that was pretty fun. I got to debate on one of them, which was the Psy versus JYP. I was on Psy's side, so and I debated that. And then the next game, which actually for that I got a free, it was like a photo card. It was a dupe, and it was, which is period. And then the last thing was the random dance play, which is like, if you don't know what that is, it's basically just like, it's a big in K-pop where a bunch of people like stand in a circle around, make like a center, and then a screen or like music will play, and it'll go 3, 2, 1, and then it'll like start the right before a chorus of a song. And so then like everyone who knows it runs to the center and does it, and then you like, once it's over the chorus, then you leave and it goes 3, 2, 1, next one. So everyone was super excited for that. Honestly, I was too, because I thought this is my time to shine, like I'm a dancing girl. When I tell you, we did it for like 12 minutes. They had more, but it was time at the end of the night. It was time to leave. So I think we did like 12 minutes of that, and I only danced 2. It's not that I didn't know the other songs at all. I did, but I'm like, I didn't know the dances, and some people were whipping out like every single one. And my 2 were back to back also. So it was ATEEZ Lemon Drop. As soon as that came on, I said, it's my time to shine, because I knew there had to be ATEEZ either Lemon Drop or In Your Fantasy, and I was going to eat them up. So it was Lemon Drop. I go out there, I do my lemon drop close up, I do my whole thing. 8. Then I came off, and like I heard the energy, like people were kind of like living for it when I did it. And then I come off, and then the next one was Jump by Blackpink, and I said, I gotta eat this up too. So I went Dia, dun 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 dun, Dia. And then that was the end of the night. I left, and I was feeling like, okay, I'm glad I went because I felt like I learned some things about myself. I learned that I don't really like college students that much. I don't really like being around K-pop stans that much. And I mean that with love. I mean that with love because, yes, I probably would prefer to be around them than people who, like a bunch of college students who weren't into K-pop. But some of them are crazy boots. I have to say it. Some K-pop stans are crazy boots. And it's like a very specific fans that I like. And I do love 18E. That I hold them close to my heart because, I am one and I've had pretty good experiences with them. But all that to say, the night was just kind of interesting, and like I said, I'm glad I went. It was an experience. So I'm gonna take a break, and then we'll come back and do some cues. Welcome back from the break. I hope the sign looks good in the camera. I checked it like once, but I don't really know. I'll find out in post. So Lekkiju's Cues is a segment where I get questions submitted from Instagram. So I normally ask questions on my Instagram for the week for the podcast episode, and then people submit. And those two Instagram accounts are going to be at Leckiju and at leckiju.kpop if you want to be included in future videos. You can follow me and look out because at some point of the week I will be posting about questions. Normally I post them on Monday or Sundays, I want to say, because I normally then film on Tuesdays. So, first one we have is doing everything for the plot. The answer is always yes. Oh, I didn't even say what the question is. So it says, what makes you feel like the main character recently or lately? So someone said doing everything for the plot. The answer is always yes. Very good. Very good answer because, sometimes you just have to like live in the moment. Sometimes you have to just be free and romanticize things, and that's kind of the era that I'm choosing to be in right now. Not that my life is like anything crazy right now, but I'm trying to make it more fun for myself. So I wanted to know what people are doing to feel like the main character lately, because I myself am feeling very main character-esque, and to tell the truth, I always have. To tell the truth, I always have been the main character. I hope everybody is the main character of their own life, but I fear that that may not be the case. My brother is kind of the main character of his life. However, he's always told me that I was the main character of his life because he's like the, I guess, supporting character. And to be fair, like he always is my sidekick, and I've thought of him that way. But I don't know. I think he would make a great lead actor as well. So, I just to say that I hope everybody is the main character, but I was curious to know like what is making them feel that lately. For me, let me answer. Actually, I'm gonna save my answer for the end. Let's move on to the next one. So this person said learning ceremony chorus dance. I love learning new choreos. So correct me if I'm wrong, I think Ceremony is the new Stray Kids song that just came out. I haven't learned it yet, but maybe I should. Learning choreography, I love that that's making you feel like the main character. That's so cool. And funny too. But I know what you mean. Sometimes that can. Next person said being a baddie with a fatty. Girl, period. Being a baddie with a fatty. I know that's right. That's valid. Sometimes like a look or aesthetic can make you feel main character-esque. An outfit that you put on can make you feel main character energy, Which, for me, honestly, this is not it. But what makes me feel main character energy is literally what I'm doing right this second. Me sitting down, LED sign beside me, filming a podcast, as if people give a shit about me. And they do. And the thing is like, even if they don't, who cares? I'm doing this for me, guys. Anyways, more on that in a second. This person says the fact that everything sucks right now, it just means it's about to get better sooner. That one's kind of a bummer. But it's positive still. That's still a positive way of thinking. They said, so the fact that everything sucks right now, that's unfortunate, but it does mean that it's going to get better soon, I fear. Which, good for you. I mean, see, no matter how bad it gets, you always know that, one, it could be worse, but two, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Okay, next one says having to carry a show and everyone in it. Oop. We have tea. That's funny because, well, I know who this is, and you guys know that. I know dancers and whatnot. So someone feeling like they have to carry a whole show, and maybe some other people aren't pulling their weight. Uh-oh. And that's just how it is. It's giving group project. I hate a group project, bro. I have this story of this group project where this is when I was at boarding school, me and this other guy and a girl, it was a group of 5. So me and this guy and this girl did basically the entire project. The other 2 girls did not. And the thing is like, I want to say it's their fault because yes, it was. They should have like just done something, but in a way, it also wasn't because they would ask us. They're like, no, we're fine. Just tell us what to do. And low key, we were like, but you guys can't really do much. And like that's shady. But it was basically like the 3 of us just should have been a group of 3, but that wasn't an option because it's like we actually would prefer to just do it as 3, and we know that it would be done right if it was just as 3. So that was a fun project. Actually, I wish that I could see the video because I know it existed somewhere. It was basically like, we had to read this book and then we made a movie. So like you could interpret and do whatever kind of project you wanted. And I remember doing a film project because me and my friend, we just liked to be on iMovie. We liked making things and just like being creative and all that, and GarageBand. But we decided to make like a little movie retell of it, and on our campus too. And so I think we decided that one girl was gonna like basically write the script and like narrate, and then me and the other guy were gonna actually just like make the film. And so that was cool, and I really wish I could see the video now because it was like, I don't even remember what book it was about. I know it was a bad book, and I remember there was a part about a dog who died. If anyone can comment below what that is. No, for real. There's a dog on the cover, and I think it's upside down, like an upside down dog. But I think it dies in the beginning of the story, or he finds a dead dog. I don't know. So moving on. The next person said, the fact that I can afford to do the things I want to do, thank God. That's a very nice one. See, for me, I guess I technically can afford things. And like, but I don't necessarily feel main character-ism from that, if that makes sense. And that the reason for that is just that like I don't, even if I can't afford things, a lot of times like I don't allow myself to purchase things, and like I just don't let myself buy things that aren't really necessary all the time. Yes, from time to time I treat myself food-wise, snack-wise, treats, but not even that much. Like some people who get coffees every day and stuff like that, like I can't do that because that's like, I can't make it a habit, but also it just like seems like it would escalate pretty fast, and for some people it gets addictive. But now you might be wondering, what am I doing to feel main character energy? So not necessarily spending money. I mean, I understand why that could make you feel. If I had more money, I probably would feel even more main character than I already am. But part of my growing up a little broke now to being like a little bit in a good spot financially because of myself and my work is part of my main characterism, you know what I mean? And I feel like I've just always like, well, my life is literally a movie. I've lived like 4 lives. I made this TikTok a while ago talking about how, like, have you ever met people who are your age and they seem like undercooked in a way that's like their lore is not like developed in a way? Like, I meet people who are like so small town because they grew up in the same city or same town, and they're like my age, which is no shade. You can still find culture, just so you know. But these people, I call them small town because I'm like, I feel like they know so little about the world because their realm is like this small. Like, and I feel like they just don't really know much in like a culture way. They might be really smart people, and that honestly, like, good for them, but that doesn't really, like, we still couldn't hang out. I couldn't be friends with them because what are we going to talk about? Like, literally, what are we going to talk about? You have to be a little cultured to be my friend. And like, you know, movies, TVs, music, I don't know, like the world, literally the world. But what makes me feel main character lately, like I said, recording this podcast, that is very main character of me. Having a TikTok channel, having an Instagram, having 2 Instagrams, mind you, and having a YouTube channel, and I don't even post regular YouTube videos yet. Sorry, that was kind of loud. I was gonna say yet. I'm not posting. But I might. And I don't know, those things to me is just like, it's just very main character, because that's like me posting is me expecting that somebody cares about what I'm doing. And if they don't, it's literally just me who cares. And that's fine, because like, I don't really know what people think about me necessarily. I know that like I have a wide variety. Some people think that I'm like pretty cool and they are like interested in what I'm up to. They want to know what's up. Like, I do know that there are people who are like that. But then I also have some people who probably like just think I'm stupid and I'm just a bit and I'm cringe and I'm doing all this, which they would be right, LOL. They would be right. But I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, because like how I feel about myself is like it's so cool. The things that I do and like the way that I post, I'm like, it's very interesting to me and I think that it's cool. And other people maybe don't see that, but it's like, it really doesn't matter to me. I am the main character I fear. And another thing that makes me a main character is like just the way that I have a lot of careers and hobbies in a way. Like, I don't ever really want to settle down to one, at least at this point in time, but I do want to like do modeling, which I feel like modeling and things in the fashion world is kind of very main character in a way, because just alone in that career is already so many careers, like, in so many different paths to take. Like, whether you do commercial stuff, high fashion stuff, if you're doing runways, you're doing like e-commerce, there's so many things to do, or working events. And that's why I'm so drawn to it, because I need something that's constantly changing. I don't want something that is like super stagnant and a set schedule. I like it to be changing so I don't get bored. And then, so that as a whole, very main character. But then the fact that I also like, in addition to that, I dance occasionally, and I teach now regularly, and I choreograph, and I make like new choreographies every single week. Call me Abby Lee. Call me Abby Lee Miller, the way I'm given a new combo every week. I give 2 combos a week, and it's like, it's not that hard for me to come up with, but I just like, hey, it's part of being a main character. It's an expectation for myself, even, that like, I just know that I'm able to do it and that I have to. Like, you have to deliver. So I do enjoy that, and I think dance as a whole also seems kind of main character-ish. And then combined with that, and then randomly, sometimes people ask me and I'm like, yeah, I have like other job too. I did quit my restaurant job, which I will say that out of my multiple jobs, that was like my least main character one, literally just me being a host. So hey, if it's not giving you the main character energy, maybe that's your sign to drop it. Because me being a host, it's like, even when I was there though, I was the main character of Azumi, I fear. And it's so funny because when, like, me being a host is literally just, it's not even that important. I will say it is an important job, and I can respect hosts who do like manage the whole restaurant in a way, which was me. But I don't know, it's like you're less important than servers in a way, but I still felt like I was the main character there, and I also didn't even work long shifts. You know, servers are there for like 3:30 to 11 on weekends, and I would be there. I would show up for like a 5-hour shift, and somehow I'm like, what happens when I'm not here? And it's funny because I had friends who would be working there, and then they would tell me, they're like, whenever they would be so upset when I left, because it's like, once you leave, like, low-key no one's talking, or like, it's just not, the energy leaves when I leave. And that sounds like, I know what that sounds like, but I can't help it. I'm sorry, I was the main character, and whenever I leave, that scene is over. Like, it continues with my night, your scene's over. Oh God, I sound like such a monster. My brother and I were talking last night about like so much. We ended up talking until like 3 a.m. And we just like, we're talking about old times, we're talking about stories, and even telling each other things that like somehow we've never told each other. And it was like, it's crazy. We lived together, we spent every day together, and we did during all these times. But there's just things that like, we were getting really deep stories. And it was so funny, but we talked about how I was like, some things that he did, I'm like, you created the monster that I am today. Like, and I've said that before. He's so nice to me and so like loyal to a point that it has made me so like, evil, I fear. And like some of the things that he has said to me, and like in positive ways to me, or like boosting me up, it makes me evil. It makes me an insufferable person. But I told him, I said, I love it though. I'm not changing. Like, and I tell him, I'm like, no, but I love it. And he's like, but wouldn't it be better to be different? I said, no. Like, I don't want to be different, you know? Anyways, I think I've chatted enough today. This was a recap episode. I just wanted to recap you on everything that's gone on, because I felt like I had a pretty eventful week. One more topic that I just remembered was, I think I might be going on a date soon, which is crazy boots. First of all, I think I might be going on a date, which this actually started some of my conversation with F from last night, was because I was telling him about this, and I said, it's actually been over a year since I went on like a real date. And then that made us spiral, because then he was like, I don't remember the last time I went on a date. We had to think about it. But yeah, I think last time I went on a date that I would consider a date was July of a year ago, which is crazy boots, guys. I am a 20-year-old. Like, for this past year, I was like a 19-year-old. I'm 6'2". I have a pretty fierce face card. I'm a lot to manage personality wise and deal with. But I'm a good conversationalist. So I feel like someone needs to be getting on this, but I think I'm gonna try to venture out. And my new thing, I said that this guy who, you know, was able to get a date, and I think we are gonna meet, I said he booked me out of my busy schedule. He did book me, but he's busy too, so I guess I booked him. And I'm excited because it's like, well, it's been so long, and it's also just a date, you know. If that leads to nothing else, it's just, you know, an experience, and it's something I just like don't get to do very often. So I'm very excited. I might be doing a get ready with me or something for the date, and if you want to see that, you can check out probably on my TikTok at Leckiju 212. And then if you want to check my other socials, I also post all the time at Leckiju and at leckiju.kpop. Those are my Instagrams. all of my socials are also going to be linked in the bio of this page, or of this channel. So you can see those and you can check out all my stuff. You can even look at my Amazon storefront, see what I'm purchasing, and see what I recommend. Lastly, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. You can comment below what makes you feel like a main character lately, and please subscribe and turn on the post notifications. So then every time I upload, which is, say it with me, Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST, then you don't even have to think about what time it is. You get a notification every time I post. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing to listen to the Leckiju Lounge or watch it. And I love you so much. Bye-bye.